Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Limitations of post-structuralism in discourse analysis. Critiques. In this article, the discussion centers around the challenges post-structuralism presents, particularly its relativistic tendencies, when applied to discourse analysis. This critique examines both moral and epistemological relativism, revealing how these perspectives may complicate the analysis of crucial discourses on ethics, human rights, and justice. Highlighting the potentially undermining effects on universal ethical standards and the pursuit of objective knowledge, the article delves into how post-structuralism's skepticism of absolute truths affects the ability to critically engage with injustices and formulate universally applicable human rights frameworks. Moreover, the piece articulates the practical and methodological difficulties inherent in applying post-structuralist theories to empirical research, stressing the need for more defined methodological guidelines to enhance clarity and applicability. Overall, this article scrutinizes the tension between post-structuralism's theoretical depth and the practical demands of conducting rigorous, impactful discourse analysis. 1. Debates on relativism. The critique of post-structuralism within the realm of discourse analysis, particularly concerning its relativistic stances, presents a nuanced and multifaceted debate. This discussion encompasses both moral and epistemological relativism, exploring how these philosophical underpinnings influence, and possibly complicate, the analysis of discourses related to ethics, human rights, justice, and the pursuit of objective knowledge. 1. Moral relativism in discourse analysis. A. Concerns raised by post-structuralism's stance on moral relativism. Post-structuralism, with its roots deeply embedded in skepticism towards universal truths and structures, inherently questions the existence of absolute moral standards. From this perspective, ethics, human rights, and justice are not seen as universal constants but as constructs that are shaped by and shift within different discourses and power dynamics. This stance raises significant concerns in analyzing discourses that deal with these subjects. Critics argue that such a relativistic view may hinder the ability to critique injustices or advocate for universal human rights, as the very basis for these concepts could be seen as mutable and contingent upon cultural or societal norms. B. Criticisms of undermining universal ethical standards. The criticism here is that post-structuralist approaches, by denying the existence of universal ethical truths, may inadvertently undermine efforts to address global injustices or advocate for human rights that are posited as being universally applicable. If moral standards are entirely contingent upon the discursive contexts in which they arise, the grounds for critiquing practices deemed unethical or unjust in one context but acceptable in another become tenuous. This relativism can be particularly troubling in discussions about human rights abuses or social injustices that transcend cultural and national boundaries. 2. Epistemological relativism in discourse analysis. A. Challenges to objective knowledge. Epistemological relativism, a hallmark of post-structuralist thought, posits that knowledge itself is constructed through discourses and that there are no objective truths independent of these discursive formations. This perspective challenges the foundation of discourse analysis as a method for uncovering truths, or generating objective knowledge about the world. Critics argue that if all knowledge is seen as a product of discursive constructs, then the ability to claim any interpretation or finding as valid becomes problematic. This relativism calls into question the legitimacy of all discourse analysis findings, as each is merely one of many possible interpretations shaped by the analyst's own discursive positioning. B. Impact on interpretation of texts and validity of findings. The impact of epistemological relativism on discourse analysis is profound. It complicates the interpretation of texts, as each text can be understood in multiple ways depending on the interpretive frameworks of both the analyst and the original producers of the text. Furthermore, the validity of discourse analysis findings is put into question, as the inherent subjectivity and constructed nature of knowledge mean that findings can always be contested. Critics of post-structuralism argue that this makes it difficult to use discourse analysis for purposes that require a degree of objectivity, such as policy development, educational curriculum design, or legal analysis. The critiques of post-structuralism and discourse analysis highlight a tension between the need for flexible, context-sensitive approaches to understanding human cultures and societies, and the desire for universal standards and objective truths. While post-structuralism offers valuable insights into the complexities of language, power, and knowledge, its relativistic stances also present challenges that scholars and practitioners must navigate carefully, especially in fields that deal with ethics, rights, and justice. Balancing these considerations is crucial for leveraging the strengths of post-structuralism in discourse analysis while mitigating its limitations. Post-structuralism's critiques and limitations in discourse analysis extend into its methodology, raising significant challenges in both the application of its theories and the operationalization of its key concepts. These challenges touch on the practical difficulties of applying post-structuralist frameworks, the subjectivity of analysis, and the complexities involved in systematically examining discourse. 2. Challenges in methodology. 1. Application challenges of post-structuralist theories. A. Practical difficulties. Applying post-structuralist theories to the analysis of discourses involves navigating the inherent complexity of texts and the vast diversity of potential interpretations. Post-structuralism emphasizes the fluidity of meaning and the role of power dynamics in shaping discourse, which, while insightful, introduces a level of complexity that can be daunting in practical research. Texts are seen not just as carriers of meaning but as sites of struggle, with multiple layers of meaning that can vary significantly depending on the context and the reader's perspective. This complexity makes it challenging to draw clear conclusions or to apply post-structuralist theories in a straightforward manner. B. Subjectivity and accessibility. One of the critical critiques of post-structuralist methods in discourse analysis is that they can lead to analyses that are overly subjective, reflecting the analyst's interpretations rather than offering objective insights into the discourse itself. This subjectivity can make the findings indecipherable to broader audiences, limiting their applicability in policymaking, education, and other fields that rely on clear, accessible analyses. The concern is that without a way to anchor interpretations in a shared reality, post-structuralist analyses risk becoming too esoteric, diminishing their impact and utility. 2. Operationalization of key concepts. A. Challenges in empirical research. Operationalizing key post-structuralist concepts, such as power relations and discursive formations, in empirical research presents its own set of challenges. These concepts, while theoretically rich, are often abstract and elusive when it comes to concrete application. For instance, examining power relations within a discourse requires an analytical framework that can account for the subtleties of how power is exercised and resisted in various contexts. Similarly, identifying discursive formations, networks of statements that constitute a field of knowledge, demands a nuanced approach that can capture the dynamics of knowledge production and control. The challenge lies in developing methods that can systematically identify and analyze these complex phenomena in diverse discursive materials. B. Lack of methodological guidelines. A significant critique of post-structuralism in the context of discourse analysis is the lack of clear methodological guidelines for conducting systematic analysis. While post-structuralism offers a rich theoretical framework for understanding the role of discourse in society, it provides less guidance on the practical aspects of conducting research. This gap can make it difficult for researchers to design studies, collect data, and analyze findings in a way that is both rigorous and faithful to post-structuralist principles. The critique suggests a need for more developed methodologies that can operationalize post-structuralist concepts in a manner that is both analytically sound and accessible to a wider research community. The methodological challenges posed by post-structuralism in discourse analysis highlight the tension between the depth and complexity of post-structuralist thought and the practical requirements of empirical research. While the theoretical insights of post-structuralism offer profound opportunities for understanding discourse and power, The difficulties in applying these theories and operationalizing key concepts underscore the need for further methodological development. Addressing these challenges is crucial for enhancing the rigor, clarity, and impact of post-structuralist discourse analysis. Conclusion. The critique of post-structuralism's relativism and methodological challenges in discourse analysis underscores a fundamental tension between the philosophical underpinnings of post-structuralism and the pragmatic demands of empirical research. While post-structuralist theories offer invaluable insights into the fluidity of meaning, the constructed nature of knowledge, and the pervasive influence of power in discourse, these same qualities pose significant challenges when applied to the analysis of texts, especially in contexts requiring a degree of objective assessment or universal ethical standards. The concerns regarding moral and epistemological relativism highlight the philosophical debate about the nature of truth, ethics, and justice in a post-structuralist framework. These debates raise critical questions about the capacity to address universal human rights and injustices in a worldview that questions the existence of universal truths. Meanwhile, the methodological challenges of applying post-structuralist theories to discourse analysis, ranging from the practical difficulties of navigating complex texts to the lack of clear guidelines for empirical research, underscore the need for methodological innovations that can bridge the gap between post-structuralist insights and the requirements of systematic analysis. Despite these challenges, the contributions of post-structuralism to discourse analysis are undeniably rich, offering a nuanced understanding of language, power, and subjectivity. To navigate the critiques and limitations, scholars and practitioners may seek to develop more robust methodological approaches that can accommodate the complexity and subjectivity inherent in post-structuralist thought while providing clear, actionable insights. Such efforts could involve creating interdisciplinary methodologies that draw on the strengths of post-structuralism while addressing its practical and philosophical challenges, ultimately enhancing the rigor and impact of discourse analysis across fields. Frequently asked questions. What are the main practical difficulties of applying post-structuralist theories in discourse analysis? The main practical difficulties include the complexity of texts, the diversity of interpretations, and the challenge of drawing clear conclusions. Post-structuralism's emphasis on the fluidity of meaning and power dynamics makes texts appear as multifaceted sites of struggle, complicating the analysis process and sometimes leading to indeterminate outcomes. How does subjectivity impact the applicability of post-structuralist discourse analysis? Subjectivity, a hallmark of post-structuralist analysis, can make findings appear overly personalized, reflecting the analyst's interpretations rather than offering objective insights. This can limit the analyse's applicability in areas that require clear, accessible insights, such as policymaking or education, where subjective interpretations may not provide the concrete guidance needed. What challenges do researchers face in operationalizing post-structuralist concepts in empirical research? Operationalizing concepts like power relations and discursive formations involves navigating their abstract and elusive nature. Identifying these elements within discourses requires sophisticated analytical frameworks capable of discerning subtle dynamics, which can be challenging to develop and apply in a consistent manner across different studies. Why is the lack of methodological guidelines a significant critique of post-structuralism in discourse analysis? The lack of clear methodological guidelines is a critique because it leaves researchers without a concrete roadmap for conducting systematic analysis. While post-structuralism offers deep theoretical insights, the absence of practical guidance on conducting research can hinder the design and execution of studies, making it difficult for researchers to apply post-structuralist principles rigorously. How can the challenges of post-structuralist methodology and discourse analysis be addressed? Addressing these challenges involves developing more explicit methodological frameworks that can guide the application of post-structuralist theories in empirical research. This might include creating structured approaches for analyzing power dynamics, offering clear criteria for interpreting texts, and developing tools that facilitate the systematic application of post-structuralist concepts. Additionally, fostering a dialogue between post-structuralist theory and other research methodologies may generate innovative approaches that retain theoretical depth while enhancing practical applicability. Can post-structuralist discourse analysis still be valuable despite these methodological challenges? Yes, post-structuralist discourse analysis remains valuable despite its methodological challenges. Its ability to uncover the underlying power dynamics, ideological underpinnings, and the constructed nature of discourses provides critical insights that are often overlooked in more traditional analyses. By continuously refining its methodologies and seeking a balance between theoretical depth and practical application, post-structuralist discourse analysis can significantly contribute to our understanding of social and cultural phenomena. How do these methodological challenges affect the interpretation of texts and the validity of findings in post-structuralist discourse analysis? These methodological challenges can complicate the interpretation of texts by emphasizing the potential for multiple, equally valid readings, which may question the findings' validity by highlighting their contingent nature. However, by adopting a reflexive stance and being transparent about the analytical process, researchers can underscore the insights gained from a post-structuralist approach while acknowledging the inherent subjectivity and complexity of discourse analysis. What steps can researchers take to enhance the rigor and clarity of post-structuralist discourse analysis? Researchers can enhance the rigor and clarity of post-structuralist discourse analysis by developing explicit analytical frameworks that operationalize key concepts, employing a reflexive approach to acknowledge their interpretive lens, and engaging with a wide range of texts to demonstrate the robustness of their analyses. Additionally, integrating post-structuralist insights with other methodological approaches can provide a more comprehensive understanding of discourses and their societal implications.